back tears. Tristan, thank you so very much. Now, I've got someone else I've got to bring on, but you got to let me warm up for this one.
Oh, damn, he is going to play it.
You see, folks, every hero should have their own walk-on music. And our next speaker is a hero. Now, we're not bringing him up here because of his political stance, although he did get my vote. We are allowing this man to speak today, not because he is the leader of the free world here in Nashville. We are allowing this man to speak today because he is a dog lover. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, shapes, sizes, and colors, and manifestations of love, please give a warm welcome to our mayor, John Cooper.
Well, thank you for that warm welcome. Feel free. Let's travel together. Better introduced than Tristan. Thank you for that eloquence. And as we start out, if we would just take a moment and all of us remember a special dog in our lives that's often made a lot of difference, and we don't, I think, ever really, they leave us and go on to their reward, but we cherish them forever, and they made a big difference in our lives, and let's just remember them for a moment. And let me recognize some incredible people. Judge Anna Escobar is here with us. If she would raise her hand, there she is in the back. And Representative Harold Love, I had a great privilege last week of going to Washington, D.C. to try to get some money out of that federal government for our neighborhood right here in Nashville. And boy, he gets their attention everywhere that he goes. He's kind of our secret weapon with the government. And then Councilman Brandon Taylor, he has one of the most difficult jobs in Nashville because being on the council is one of the most difficult jobs. And it's thankless, which means you can't thank them enough, to really measure all those late night phone calls and then the vision of the city as we are going to become really one of the great cities in America. We've got the opportunity right ahead of us, but we've got to grasp that moment and we've got to fix our problems, and we're doing that. And I have to acknowledge two people here on the front row, the world famous Emmylou Harris, but we know her for her devotion to animal rights here in Nashville. And sitting next to her is the great Reverend Charlie Strobel, which, yes, we are a lot of product of his work, and in ways that we don't fully always understand, but thank you, Reverend. And then let's recognize we're standing here at 16th and Buchanan, known as Bud's Corner. To locals and regulars, this is a great spot in Nashville, and 64 years ago, Bud Norman and his wife Mickey opened this little neighborhood grocery store. And across their street, their grandson Jonathan is carrying on that family tradition at Bud's Hardware. We're recognizing our past and making our future better because of that. Now, there were decades of neglect here, but now 16th and Buchanan is a cornerstone for this neighborhood's thriving economy, and let's celebrate its role in the revitalization of the Buchanan Arts District, and now the future site of the Crossroads campus. Yes, and it's a great spot to bring all of us together, united by animals. I do think that that is one of the signs of God's grace to us, is animals. Now, I'm deeply grateful to Crossroads in the way they bring neglected animals and a youth mission together to learn from each other and heal from trauma. Now, it's been a long journey for our Crossroads team over the past year, and one of the reasons I want to be here is to acknowledge, since March 3rd, the tornado last year, there's been a special challenge right here. The tornado visited Monroe Street, and then the pandemic, and you have to be grateful to all of you in Nashville that got us through this last year. We have the credentials on resilience in Nashville through the flooding and the bombing and the derecho and the pandemic, but we are on the other side. So it's thrilling to be able to celebrate today's groundbreaking and in person, and the future of Crossroads, which has done so much and will do so much more for our community. And these facilities are going to create enough space to provide 40 youth at a time with affordable housing, job training, and other vital services. 40. 40. And that's the kind of progress that we need to make in Nashville, because we need to be a city that works for everyone, and that includes our youth. And we need affordable housing, because as we grow, this has to be one of the top 3 critical issues for a city to get right going ahead. Now, I'm with Councilman Taylor. You don't really know this, I'm really here also to lobby him. With this new budget that I hope the councilman will put together and approve in a few days. Just saying, we're all looking. To triple our investment in affordable housing in 1 year. Right? We may need to do that again. But that's adding to the Barnes Fund, and then that is a Catalyst Housing Fund to preserve housing that we may lose as we develop. That's a pilot program for builders that's adding to an infrastructure participation agreement. We do participation agreements with other developers in Nashville. Why not with more affordable housing developers in Nashville? And so 2021 is a year that we're trying to make a big difference. But as this building comes up, let's recognize it takes time. It takes time to get anything built. What you plan this year, it may be 3 years before you can get done. So let's make big plans together and serve our great city. Because we do have a platform here of people and resilience and resources and incredible schools and universities. We have a faith community. We have a commitment to each other. That in Nashville, we can work together. We can still be a city that works together and for each other. We're not going to get hung up on the divisiveness that has afflicted the rest of the country. We're going to take that as an opportunity to work together so well we will be envied by every other place in the country. Yeah. And particularly after we pass this new budget with a triple, including affordable housing. But I'm grateful to everybody that is here. Couple final things. If all the board members would raise their hands, right? Thank you. That's a selfless act of community service. And I bet you spent a lot of Zoom in the last year. But again, every board members and Lisa and her staff and everybody is doing so much every day to make so much with not that many resources, let me tell you. You know, we're stretching that to make it work for all of us, but we're making it work in a city that values each other and values its soul, and you see that with our commitment to our animal friends as well. And so with that, let me introduce the great Representative Love, and thank you all for being here, and then on to our bright future.